Hey guys, welcome to Nerdarchy, for nerds by nerds. I'm Ted, and today I'm hanging with
Dave.
And we have a viewer suggestion today from Nicholas Hengslinger. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. His players have just gotten an airship, and he wants to know what kind of encounters or NPCs would you throw at them.
Hey, maybe you have a suggestion or question for Nerdarchy. You can reach us at nerdarchy@gmail.com, or you can even head over to the forums to our GM911 section, if it's a GM911, and post over there.
Alright, so they got an airship. They're 5th to 8th level. My initial thing is, well, if there's an airship, well, there's got to be other airships, so pirates.
Absolutely.
You got to go with
I had
pirates.
two initial things. One of them being pirates, and the other thing is you can slap wings on anything.
Yes.
Like, literally, there's a factory somewhere where someone, it's their job to just put the wings on. Psh, next. Psh, next.
So then the other thing to look at is what already has wings. What kind of what things consider the sky their home?
Well,
so you've got chimeras, you've got griffins,
you've got the name of the game, Dungeons and Dragons.
So and dragons do run the gamut. I mean, just the bronze dragon alone goes from 2 to 15. So.
And it depends like how prevalent dragons are in your world. You can reskin the weaker dragons to just be flying lizards. You can slap riders on Pegasus, Hippogriff, griffins, giant eagles, giant owls. I think there's a giant vulture. May or may not be big enough to carry something. There's definitely giant bats.
So your griffins are only a challenge too, so they could easily have any NPC as a mount. As a rider, yeah. The griffin is going to get on top of the mage. Excellent. Yeah. So, I mean, now you've got a mage with some fairly decent spells riding a griffin. Well, what happens if he keeps fireballing the sails or fireballing the deck? You got some issues. You got to get over there.
Fire and ships are no good.
So there's definitely.
They can encounter floating islands. They can encounter cloud masses that actually you can walk on. So part of it too is just an airship is like any other form of travel. It's just a way to get from point A to point B. But now you can have interesting things happen. In the meantime.
Yeah, the Chimera is a challenge 6. So that's right up there. Again, it's a deadly situation because it's got the fire breath, and. Tactic wise, anything that's got a distance attack, it's got the ability to do damage and then get out of the way. If the players don't have something that can fly, they become a challenge.
Yeah, you have Aarakocra, you have angels, you have demons, you have devils. Like, there is so many different things that you could possibly do. You can mishmash monsters. You can, again, and like I said, you just slap wings on anything. You want giants that fly, put wings on them.
Indeed. Yeah. It's a spell. It's a magic item. It's it's a ritual spell. Whatever way you want it to make it happen, it's made happen.
Yes. But what are some really interesting things to encounter? Like, that would be really fun to do. Like, so, there's kind of like tropey stuff like floating castles.
Well, the thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that not every encounter is something that's combat. You want to have something for them to explore. So what happens if there's, as you said, a floating island, but what happens if it's an island that looks like it's been ripped out of the ground itself, and it's something that they've heard about, the lost city of such and such, and it used to be, in the Eastern Ocean. Well, now it's up in the sky. Well,
how did it get there?
Now you've got this mystery to solve. You got this thing. Or
better yet, instead of like a fabled city or something, what about like someplace they've been? They just encountered it floating in the sky.
There is that as well. But if you're not looking to alter the landscape or come up with, why is this a duplicate of something? You want to be able to make sure that things are going to be status quo down on the regular planes.
True, but maybe the adventurers put it back.
That's true as well. It would definitely change the arc of what's going on. Or they say, never mind. There's just this huge chasm where City X used to be.
Yeah, sometimes it happens. What are you going to do?
The other thing you want to put in there is something for them to actually interact with in a positive situation. So, what happens if they come upon another vessel that's been damaged, set upon by pirates, and they can come to the aid of it? Maybe the battle has already happened and they're floating adrift.
Then they're dealing with the aftermath.
So they're dealing with the aftermath. They have the ability to get healing done. Whatever interactions you want to throw out there. It's a great way to get contacts, get role playing in without just I have to fight it.
You can also do things that are going to be like adventure hooks as well. Like they come across a maiden floating through the sky, adrift, which is weird, and maybe she's unconscious, maybe injured, or whatever, which could be weird because one, she's floating. Mainly because she's floating.
Yes.
But what happened to her? How'd she get injured? And from there you can have an adventure hook, and then that you can decide why is she flying? As a GM, anytime you can ask yourself questions that you have to answer, that is the process for creating an adventure for your players to go on. That's how I do it. I will come up with if I'm doing a one shot for people online. I don't know what the adventure is a lot of times. I just come up with a name. And then I'm like, oh, crap, now I need an adventure, and it has to match that name.
Right.
So that makes me ask questions. Well, why did I name it this thing? What does this have to do with what? And it just leads me down a progression of thoughts and questions and answers that gives me the outline of adventure for those players to go on. Well, it's the same. You can use that for anything. It doesn't matter. Well, it's in the sky. Well, how to get in the sky? Is it always in the sky? Is this a weird occurrence that it's in the sky? So once you start asking these questions and answering them, there's a good chance that your players are going to ask the same questions, right? So it helps direct the narrative in a direction where everybody can kind of go down the same path together. The more creative I get and more convoluted my ideas are, the less likely I'm going to go down the path with my players, and it just creates problems.
But be prepared for, there's a floating girl. That's kind of creepy. Just keep going.
That could very well happen. Yeah.
I've laid out adventure hooks, time and time again that people just I'm gonna skip this. I'm not gonna.
This is none of our business. Clearly, dead floating hookers. We're leaving that one alone.
So you just, as a GM, that's always something that you want to be prepared for. Just say it.
Yeah, so again, there's tons of monsters to use. That's not a problem. Other sky ships, obviously not a problem. Whether they're friend or foe, or somewhere in between.
Don't forget, you can put wings on anything.
You can put wings on anything.
Anything can fly if you wanna actually.
If you wanted to,
just do it that way.
Objects floating in the sky, it can always be interesting.
And anything odd or out of place, you could broaden it, to that expect. Just say, okay, well, there's something there that's not supposed to be, or there's something that's supposed to be there that's not.
Then you could always do strange weather occurrences, regular weather occurrences. So you're going to have hazards. They're just going to be a little bit different.
Are the players themselves the only ones on the boat,
or is there a crew?
Or is there a crew? Does someone know how to fly the ship? Does someone know how to fix the ship? You can always have something go wrong with the ship itself, and they now have to deal with it with the supplies at hand,
or limp it to some place where they can get repairs.
Yes.
So there is that. And literally, if you're introducing airships, then you could literally introduce a whole new layer to your world with floating cities and flying cities and things of that nature that maybe the players weren't privy to before. They didn't have the means, and now they do. So you've greatly expanded the horizons of the world.
Indeed.
So with that, what do you guys think? What are your suggestions for interesting aerial encounters? Maybe we can get an out of the box from Mike Gould on this one. Let us know in the comments below. While you're at it, like, share, and subscribe.
You can tweet at us at Nerdarchy.
So until next time,
stay nerdy.